This is an adventure in Middle-Earth actual play using fantasy grounds. You can find session summaries, items and characters on World Anvil, where our campaign is called In the Shadow of the Mountains. You'll find links to that and our other forms of media for our sessions, as well as an index of this episode in the description. This episode has jump cuts to keep the run time down. Previously, after a fractious Folkmoot, where the Woodmen gained a new enemy called Mogdred, the estranged son of Ingomer and now Lord of Tyrant's Hill, spurned the friendship of the people of East Blight, but gained the thanks of settlers of the Black Tarn, it is time to ride north, then east on their newly purchased mounts.
So I prepared a lot of stuff. You're planning to go all the way up north, drop into
The Hobbits.
your good friends at the Easterly Inn, and then go across the Grey Mountain Narrows and drop into Dale that way. Some of the rumours you heard that the Elf Path isn't as safe as it was even 2-3 years ago, so you decided not to go that route. Anything you want to do at Roscoe before we head off, or before you head out, basically?
No, I don't think so. Not for me.
Okay.
It's a week-long journey, roughly, wasn't it? Is that right?
I think it came to more than that, wasn't it? Like 20 odd days or something.
4 plus 7 plus 18 is 25 days, and then another 3 to Dale. So the biggest
4 plus
bit.
7 is 11, plus 18 is 29.
Yeah, you're right. As I said, my head hurts still. So
We should be able to leverage this somehow.
the first 130 miles to the Old Forest Road are fairly straightforward, and then all the way up to basically the beginning of the Elf Path is fairly easy for you as well. The Forest Gate. It's the bit north of that where it gets into slightly more dangerous territory. So, Hathis, you plan the route.
Matt's the route pounder now, isn't he? Aren't I the hunter? Matt's the guide.
Oh, that's true. Matt's the guide. Let me share. Make sure everyone can see the map.
So can we just to make sure I understand? We can find food on the way, can we? So we don't need enough rations for 29 days.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you not notice that fantastic bunny stew I did the other day?
So I've discovered the new layer feature for drawing, which is quite neat. So that's your first route you planned. That's about 130 miles. The second part of the route takes you about another 120 via the Easterly Inn. And then the third route, which is much longer, is that one, he says, not being able to click it, which goes all the way around to Dale, and that's about 320 miles. Yep. That's the big chunk. Now, you start off, you've got... God, this music's loud, sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of battle music, isn't it? It's really nice, peaceful journey music.
Really nice little trotting along music, really.
Let's do a nice journey.
Or maybe some road trip
instead.
Mixtape. Head out on the highway.
Heavy murder thunder!
That's the one. Moaning on the horn there.
Right, a delightful country setting. That's what we need, with some bird songs, some insects buzzing.
And we bought some horses, didn't we, at the end of last time?
Of Lamborghinis.
They're not on the inventory, are they? So do we need to add them? I guess we won't forget.
Yeah.
John, do we need to add them for movement or anything like that? Or
Mine's on.
I calculated all your movement, assuming you had horses. So
okay.
I will add them in after this session.
Yeah.
We need funky names for our horses.
Yeah, you need some good hobbity horsey names.
Not hobbity? We're not hobbits.
You need some good names for the horses. All right. So you head out. So the first day you travel about 40 miles a day on horses. You get literally probably half a day out, lunchtime type territory, and you see a vaguely familiar figure galloping up behind you really, really quickly. Pointed hat, grey cloak.
Mug the fuck.
Grey hat.
Yeah. Is he on the fastest horse in the universe?
You guys are only like trotting, the occasional canter, that's about it, and then back to walking and stuff to give your horses a rest. But he's going flat out, and you don't know how his hat's held on, but it is, and he whisks his horse up to you, like stops in a spray of gravel and grass. My friends from back across the river. How are you faring?
Very well. We're travelling to Dale. It's a long journey, but we've our route planned. We've got horses, so we're on our way. We're not travelling as fast as you, but we hope to catch the celebrations and festivities.
Good to hear. May well be there myself. I've got some errands to run first. Lovely day for it. Catch you soon, gentlemen. And with that, over the hillock, and he's gone with incredible speed. So if you remember, just around here was where you found that source of that herb, where you were it was fairly close by to you. But this area it's really in the East Anduin Vales, and you know it really well, Arahad, and you do as well, Hathis. It's lots of old walls and ravines, scattered kind of rock lying on moorland and those kind of stuff. Lots of small streams dotting across, all flowing down into the Anduin. It's really pretty. If you imagine like Dartmoor type territory,
Dartmoor, Exmoor kind of stuff.
And it's fairly easygoing. There's a lot of sheep paths and herding going on here, so it's, despite being no roads, it's fairly easy travel. And you carry on going pretty well for most of the journey. When you get to here, everyone give me a DC 10 plus 6 plus plus 8 exhaustion modifier. So that's Constitution modifier, and add 8 over and above what you.
So don't get a 10, adding 8. So I must roll a 1.
Yeah, it should be really, really difficult to get exhausted here.
Is this a save or an ability check? Sorry.
It's just a check.
Sorry,
it's a save.
Plus 8. Constitution check.
Level best there to fail.
Look at that. Hathis is hale and hearty.
Okay, you're all good. No exhaustion. You're travelling towards the end of the 4th day. You know you're getting close to the road. You come across some really interesting landmark that you hadn't seen before, and you actually see Gandalf again. He's sitting there, and he's got a head tilted to one side slightly, and he's looking up at a fairly famous landmark that you must have gone different hillocks or different routes previously, going up and down the vales. You know what this is, Arahad, but this is the Pale Rider Caves.
Are we still south of the Old Forest Road, or are we north
No,
of it?
that pin now.
Okay. Yep.
Just north of where you are, in fact, I'll move you into that hex, is where the Pale Rider Caves are. The hills in this area are white and chalky. Old pits scar the surface of them. Some forgotten tribe of Northmen cut the image of a horse and rider into the side of a green hill, and that landmark is visible for miles around. Just that you never noticed it before. So
it's massive.
It's very And anyone who's English knows exactly what type of thing that is. You see Gandalf there, and he's looking at it, and then he's muttering under his breath, people are keeping it clean and tidy again. And as he's kind of there, and he sees you come up again and says, and believe me, I literally rolled this twice.
I was going to say, because the last time we met him, you said it was pretty much 100 on the encounter roll. So this is now really the 3rd time we bumped into him.
No, this is more likely because it's friendly lands. But this is it's still fairly unlikely. But I thought, well, I could have picked any like big character, and I just decided Gandalf makes more sense. So and so he tells you a little bit of background about the Pale Rider Caves. He says, there was a lot of chalk mined here for making lime. So the old pits that scarred the surface of the hills, when he tells you about them, were where dwarves and later Northmen dug. And there's a lot of mining here that went into making lime. And tales say that one day the horse and rider will come to life and ride to the aid of the free peoples. Today, though, the Pale Rider serves as a dire warning. And he says, at the time of the Great Plague, a cruel king ordered that all those infected with the sickness be driven into the caves and walled up.
Ooh.
So that all their sickness may be contained. And there's rumoured to be ghosts of the angry dead haunting those.
Ooh.
And and there's Northman rumours that the ghosts of the plague victims, if they touch you will contact the plague as well. And he said, old wives' tales, but interesting times. And he's looking and he says, the plague was a great tragedy. It was almost like he's reliving it. Anyway, can't dally.
Before he goes,
neither can we, Gandalf. We need to get on, really.
Can we ask him though before he goes?
Chatting.
Can we ask him about what's he called? The guy who used to be Ingomer's son.
Mogdred.
Yeah.
Mogdred.
What does he know about him?
Mogdred.
Is he fair or foul? Just fill him in quickly what we know about Roscoe.
So he said, yeah, I was aware of the Folkmoot, couldn't make it myself, but I spoke with Radagast a few days ago. He was missing for, 10, 12 years? In Dol Guldur, I think. And it seems that I need to go and meet him, but it seems that he's crueler man than he was when he went in, from my knowledge. But anyone who can keep some of the shadow at bay in Southern Mirkwood is potential allies. So I haven't made up my mind about him yet.
Okay.
All right. So you end up, after the first 4 days, crossing over the Old Forest Road again, and then heading into these middle vales. Similar scenery as the other vales. This is a lot of buzzing of bees up here, a lot of lone trees. It's a bit more wooded as you go further north. Thickets, and it rains more. And by the time you get into the East Upper Vales, it rains a lot. It's like going to Wales. So that's where you starting off from the next session. After about 2 days, you are only about another half a day away from the East Lian when you're deciding to camp. So the scout, who's that? I guess it's Sigmar, isn't it? Oh, no, the lookout, sorry.
I'm the lookout. Is that one? Yeah, there's a perception.
Yeah, so could you give me a perception check in the tower? Let me just set something up for you.
Just set up the ambush now that Monan's missed it completely.
The first couple of adventures, we kept falling asleep during the night.
You did? Right. Everyone roll initiative, and I'm going to add you to the map. So you are heading along this sort of sheep path up to the north. Yeah, put yourself in a bit better order. You're down right at the south of that map when you get there, however you want. And you, Monin, suddenly spot what looks like a flock of mangy old birds flying in almost like an arrow or like a goose fly in a formation, heading over this hill with some standing stones on, and it looks like they're kind of diverting your way. So,
creeping.
First person to act is you, Sigmar. Let me just give you a bit of a description about what they look like, and then you can have a crack, Sigmar. They look a bit like this. Yeah, I think everyone knows what a crabane is, so I'll just share the image. Horrible, mangy crows, basically, black eyes, feathers missing all over them, and sticking out at odd angles, to the extent, as you think some of these shouldn't even be able to fly, really.
Yeah.
But they do. And they kind of cawing in a horrible... I don't want a happy bird song. I need like savage bird song.
They're just spies, aren't they?
Do we know that? Do we have the knowledge for that?
Do we know anything of them?
Give me just a general lore or shadow lore, actually.
Should be for... I'll do shadow lore.
Shadow lore, yeah.
So we can all do it. In the open, we all do it, or in the tower?
In the tower. I think you've got a pretty good shadow lore skill. So.
Same as my lore skill, to be brutally honest.
You can't tell the difference anymore. That's how many shadow points you have.
It's all law to me. I am the law.
Okay, you all actually have understand, and you've probably all seen crabane before. Individually, they can be fairly. They're not that dangerous, but in groups, you know that. Yeah, I mean, families are very scared of their kids being out if these things see them. They're the only real dangerous creatures flying in the Anduin Valley that will attack people. So you do know that. All right, you are up, Sigmar. I'll just put you in some rough marching order around that road. There you go.
Is there any cover?
It's only what you can see.
Is that grass or trees or what?
It's all grass. Yeah, this is pretty open, like moorland. It's hilly. If you imagine Dartmoor with very few trees on, this is like that.
So what's that? That looks like a cliffy thing, maybe.
Yeah, so you can climb up that.
No, I was thinking about back against it. They can only attack you from the front then.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean there are bushes around there, just north of that, which would provide you some cover if you can get there fast enough.
I'll just shout, "Head for that cliff!" And I'll
Bear in
start-
mind you've got horses with you, so they're large creatures. They fill 2 squares, so you're if you get off the horses, they may be vulnerable to attack.
So can we shoot bows and fight from horseback, John, or is that not
Yep.
advisable?
You can do. Now, if you're trying to do something particularly risky, I may need you to make an animal handling check for the horse, but other than that, you're normally okay. Like if you're trying to gallop, jump over, I don't know, an obstacle and fire a bow, then you'd have to make an animal handling check.
Right.
Sounds cool.
So that thing that I pointed to, does it look like riding my horse over there and being against it will be any? Well, is it worth bothering with, basically?
No, it would definitely help because you wouldn't be able to be surrounded, but you're not going to be able to hide from them using the sparse cover.
I wasn't expecting to hide. I was just expecting to not be attacked from every
cover.
single direction.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would definitely help. That you think?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how far I can move on a horse. But,
60 feet.
60 feet. I could run faster than that. Right.
60 feet a second. Let me pull up an NPC for you of horses. So they've got a speed of 60 feet. Basically, that's the most important thing there. And if you remembered, your negotiations got you particularly good specimens. So if you look at the hit points, normally horses do not get a +6 on their hit points, but these are very fit, healthy horses. And they're all white, unfortunately. So I can, if you want, add those to the combat tracker. I wouldn't advise on it right now, so just move. So you are about 60 feet galloping. You can actually make a double move if you want, or if you've just moved like that, if you want, you can bow or
move.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, who is next? So just
ahead.
Actor Sigma. Thanks. And as these things are starting to fly in as well.
So can I move and bow?
It's not your go yet, but you can do. Yeah.
Oh, it's not me. Okay.
So
Manji.
let's call them Crabane because you know what they are now.
Have you got that thing set up again, John, like you had on Thursday, where it's not actually our PC order because it looks like when it says Sigma, Arahad, Hathis, Monin, Huon.
Yeah, but if you look on the combat track, it's now pinged down to Crabane of Tharbad, number 6 is next. So
yeah, so all you can see is your order. You can't see the order they go in.
Okay, that's cool.
So long as you're in the right order, you do at least know when you're going to act as a group. So each square is 10 feet. Is that right, Neil? Is that what you found?
Yeah, that's what it's
5,
done to us.
10, 50. So he flies and kind of starts swooping down over the hill pretty fast, and he's cawing loudly, followed by a lot of his buddies as they all kind of start flooding this way. And then Arahad, you get to act.
So that's how far they've moved in one round, is it?
That was, and they're flying towards, looking like they're flying towards you all.
Right.
That's all. So only those 3 have moved so far.
So how far, if I want to move and bow, can I move? I can do a double move because that's the horse, can I? And still,
No, just take 60-foot move and then bow.
Right, so let me move then. So I'll move 60 feet and then I'm going to bow.
Okay, so you move up to there,
Yeah.
and so just target one of them, and if you just
Target the front one then. Right.
control click, and it's 220 feet away.
Okay, and I'll see if I can hit it.
Roll.
Nice.
I think you should be at disadvantage. That still hit, so apply some damage. Nice shot.
Oh.
And then you need to add another 2 points to that. Okay. Crabane of Tharbad 6 took a bit of a pasting. Not a massive.
Is that one of his foe of the enemy?
Yeah, it is. So I've applied it manually. Okay, nice shot. It's so this arrow wound that you see some feathers fly off it, and there's an arrow protruding from it, but it's labouring on still.
Is it second attack?
Do I get 2 attacks? I do.
You do if you've got a bow, yeah.
Yeah.
So just click disadvantage this time, and then roll to hit.
Right. Yeah. I think that would be a miss.
That is
Caught in the head.
You accidentally hit Sigma in the back of the neck with that. Okay.
Oh wow! I get some kind of sound to say it's me. Would Hathis please report to the actions area? So 120 foot is double action, is it? Double move.
Yep.
He'll move there.
I do like the way they've done that. It's
all
very
right,
obvious where you're moving now.
That's pretty cool. Hathis will draw his bow, but won't actually try and fire yet because it's too far away for him to hit.
Okay. Then some more Crabane start flapping down towards you. Onin.
So this bit here, is that raised?
Yeah, so that is a fairly steep bank, and there's a kind of road cuts into it and kind of through it right in front of you. So at the moment, the other three are kind of riding around that base of that slope.
Okay. He'll do the same.
Yeah, okay, so just drag to where you want to go. Perfect. And is he bowing as well?
No, I don't think so, not yet.
So you can move up to 120 if you got it. Ooh, nice. I've never seen Mona move so fast. Right.
Nimble.
More Crabane flapping in from diving off the hills.
How'd you bloody stop this thing?
Jump off. Fall off.
I can't stop my horse. So your dog acts next.
Your dog. It's got an identity and a name and everything. Who will move to there? Barking. Wow, wow, wow. Butched up a bit. Got a yappy poodle. That's it. That's all he's doing. He isn't getting his bow out.
More Crabane, though, still flapping down. I'll just do like a stormy, windy, rainy or something along those lines. That'd be quite nice, right?
One fireball now and problem solved.
Yes.
Nicely grouped. Boom.
Yeah, didn't Gandalf give Hathis his elvish ring, Narya?
Exactly. Shall not pass.
Okay, next up is Sigmar. Sigmar, you're nearly at the safety of the rock. Not quite.
Yippee-doo-dahs. Yeah, so I can guess I can move my horse up to.
Yeah, you can move up to 60 feet. Yeah.
How far away are they?
We probably is still at long range, but anything's worth a punt. Nice hit.
Nice shooting, Wedge.
Oh, let's see if his dice rolls. 8
Hey.
damage.
There's no sound effects of like when things get shot now. Yes, the one. A bit delayed, but well done.
Yeah, that was a manual effort. And let's see if the damage works. Yes,
Dying.
he died. So this bird plummets to the ground with a second arrow in its chest this time and lies upside down.
It's one hell of a throw. If it takes 2 arrows to take it down.
Yeah, but the first one from Arrowhead, let's face it, was a poor shot for him.
Bit of a glancing blow.
Yeah, just
weak.
nicked it on the beak, really.
It went through Sigmar and then hit it, so slowed it down a bit.
Right, let me see what 120 foot looks like. About that far.
Now they're getting nicely in range.
Comes whistling down, and then the next one also comes whistling down.
Phew. Oh, no.
And Arrowhead, you are now next to act. So,
Right, so I'm going to. I've targeted a different one. I'm going to. My disadvantage is not on anymore, is it? You have to turn that on every time. So
yeah,
I can
it won't be.
I can just go.
You can say if it's red down the bottom, it means it's on. But I think you're okay.
Oh Jesus!
Arrowhead absolutely floundered at that. It's like horse skittered on the slope, and the arrow just like fired
Blame the horse.
straight into the bank in front of him. Absolutely awful shot.
Right,
Blame the
second
horse.
shot, 2 plus 2, yeah, and then
Oh, another one. This one goes straight through its neck, and it plummets down into a depression that it was kind of following the hills, and a big sort of flurry of feathers on the floor. Shooting. Are you moving as well, Arrowhead?
oh yeah, I'm going to move another 60.
I know.
These bushes, can we go into these bushes then for protection, or is it?
They're not going to give you much protection, especially sitting on horseback.
They're dying
Just
at one
be-
shots. They're one
Being
shot.
up against the cliff is the best thing.
Let's just pepper them and clear up the bodies.
Okay, you move there, Hathers. You move
Right,
into
Hathers
position against the cliff as
Hathers-
well. Are you bowing as well, Hathers?
Yeah, he's going to have a pop at number 11, who is 80 feet away, which I think is short bow range.
Yep.
Oh, just gases. And that's all. That's all Hathers is doing. He's moved his shot. That'll do.
Okay. And more Crabane. Kurt Crabane.
I saw that.
That's terrible. Okay. Kurt Crabane comes flying down. A big flock of the bastards.
Seagulls.
Moaning.
Okay, so
Getting
he's
real now.
he's gonna not this time. He's where he wants to be, so he's just gonna shoot at the nearest crow,
Okay.
which is like number 11. Ow, misses.
I think that's the third one so far.
It's the first time we've tried archery on horseback, so yeah, we are a bit unaccustomed to balancing on horses and firing at birds.
And then the
It's true.
second
You
attempt.
need one more shot, though. Good luck.
Hags his head and shows and trots forward.
3 times the first shot.
So, do you want to move yourself against the cliff as well, Moon?
Do you want me to show you how to use it?
Cheeky.
Just have to
Are you
go
going
there.
a bit further? Are you going a bit further up? You go
Doesn't
back
look
that
like
way.
I'll get as far as Hathers.
Right. Okay, it's more Crabane coming down. Rah! Rah!
Overgrown budgies.
Well, the sound effects have improved suddenly.
Hewan.
Yep, he can see the slot he wants to go for. If he can just nestle in there, he's going to. Oh, hang on, no, he's only got 40. No, double move to there and assume we'll be all right. Yeah, he's going to double move to there, John, and hunker
Okay.
down.
Yep. And the final few Crabane are coming in. Next up is you again, Sigma.
Those shots
Go
count,
for a
lads.
fireball. I'll hold my action until one gets within short range, and then shoot at it.
Next one is dead.
He's dead.
And he's dead. He's not dead, though. So this goes...
Shall not pass.
Yeah, he can go up there. So he flies up on and disappears.
Well, if he gets within 80 feet of me, then I'll shoot it.
Oh, okay, he will do. So the cliff's about 40, 50 feet high. He's flying above you to it, or to go over it. So you can fire when he gets to about there, probably.
Alrighty then. Yeah. Oh,
Nice
hit.
hit.
That'll do.
That's to a good shot. That's to number 11.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it hits it, and it, like a bundle of feathers, smacks into the cliff just above you, Hathers, and like lands down at your feet. And these things are big. I mean, they are probably buzzard size. They're much, much larger than crows. And the stories kind of seem to be true about these things. These things look absolutely vicious. The beak is huge, and almost like razor-like, very unlike a normal crow beak. Arahad, your act.
Right, so I'm going to...
I'll remove the ones off the combat tracker. That one, you make it easier. You've hit one.
hit and damage. Oh, I need to do it. I'll do my 2 modifier as well.
Unk.
Another load of feathers. This is good.
Incredible shooting, chaps. That was your first shot.
Yeah, second shot. How far is that? Oh, 120. I'll be able to go at that one.
Pop.
Oh, we're getting good at this now.
Now we've stopped moving.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. So you hit it. It was a hell of a lot of damage, and it suffered system shock. And then it also plummets to the ground, and even though the arrow didn't kill it, it was such a shock to it, it dies as it hits the deck.
Cool.
Hit next act for Arahad.
Hathis is going to hold his action until one of these birds comes within 80 feet of him, i.e. within normal range of his short bow, John.
Okay, so the one that was just seen, basically 3 or 4 arrows just single shot his colleagues. wheels to the left quickly, and a few feathers fly in front of him, and then starts moving very fast back to the north, and he's going back over the hill.
Hey, Top Gun music.
Moaning.
Yeah, Monan's looking a bit red-faced because he's missed, and these Creebane are falling left, right, and centre. You're going to try 15. Yay!
Got one.
With 1 point.
It's okay. The system shock didn't kill it, so
Okay. Take a second shot.
just injured. Another shot. Good luck.
Yeah, it's critical.
Okay.
Critical. That should polish him off.
Yeah, that did it.
Stick him in the pot.
For some reason it's looking for a critical table. Let me stop it doing that.
Nice shooting, Moanin.
Hey!
I think we've turned the tide.
It is deader than
Corduroy
trousers with A-line flares. Right. Next Creebane wheels rapidly and follows. It even overtakes its comrade, looking for safety across the standing stones up there. Yep, you seem to have driven them off. They're all going, and within seconds, guys will come out of initiative. The remaining 4 out of 10 depart.
Hang on, I would like to try and hit another one before they go. Actually,
Yeah, you get one more shot on one before they disappear off.
so can I move? So I can move to follow them. Can I have
It'll be a disadvantage regardless. So just make an attack at one at disadvantage.
Pick one to attack it at disadvantage and see how you go.
Okay.
Crow's back on the menu, boys.
Oh, this time you missed.
Wasn't meant to be.
Okay, and they disappear, and the potentially risky, mainly to your horses, you think, combat is ended.
Can I go looking for my arrows? 2 missed completely.
So anything that missed, you've got outside of 1 in 6 chance of finding. Anything that hits, you've got 1 in 6 chance of recovery. Anything that hit, you've got a 3 in 6 chance of recovery. I.e., by recovery, I mean you've got a fully usable arrow again. So just roll for each arrow a d6 for the ones that miss.
Okay, so 1 is a find.
Okay, congrats.
Nope. And the 2 that hit, what was that? What was the chance for that?
3 in 6. So one of those looks like you found.
Oh no, that was because I missed twice, unfortunately. So they're the ones that didn't find those. So 1, 2, 3 on these is a fine.
Okay, good luck.
Yay! Got 2 back.
You got them back. That's cool.
You remember how many I've fired?
Yeah, I'm just.
1, 2.
I think I fired 6 and I missed with 2. My 2 ones.
I didn't shoot for 1 round, so I'd have thought probably
actually.
Neil, if you fire once a round, you've fired 3 off.
Yeah, well, I don't find any of them anyway.
Oh my God, Neil didn't manage to retrieve any of his.
So these are the ones I missed with, which was 3, I think. So it was the last one as well. So that's none. And then I think I hit with 4. So I've got none back.
Okay.
That stone circle top left of the map, John, is that an actual feature to be investigated, do we think? Or is that sort of...
You can investigate it if you want.
Yes.
It's there.
Yeah, we'll wander up there. It's only up the path and hang a left, isn't it?
Okay. So I will unlock tokens. You can move yourself up there if you want.
As long as other people are coming too.
Yeah.
Don't get pounced on by 4 angry birds.
From up there, can we also see where these Creebane have gone? Have they sort of...
Yeah, I mean, they're a long way off now. They're kind of heading northeast, which is probably towards northern Mirkwood,
okay.
by the looks of things. I mean, Arahad, you get a chill sense that, and the rest of the group have never encountered Creebane before. Arahad, you have, and you get a sense that this is happening more frequently. This has happened about 2 or 3 times in the last year that Creebane have seen you and flown to attack you.
And me specifically?
Yeah, I mean, it seems that way. It seems like they're targeting you, and that the rest of you haven't been attacked by these things before.
Let's
What have
go.
you done to piss them off, Arrowhead?
I keep shooting them.
Yeah, that would.
They don't like. They don't like it.
Single-handed war.
Don't like it up them.
Let's arrange them in an aerial rune of fuck you in Elvish.
So you're up at this
Little stone circle or whatever it is.
circle. It is ancient, and it's really interesting. It's not a building. It almost looks like, of the stones that are still standing, they're like monoliths, so they narrow towards the top. Absolutely weather beaten. Literally no distinguishing features. Just very interesting.
Yep. Okay. If there's nothing else to see, then I guess we'll crack on. We've got a party to go to.
Yeah, Monin, you would guess these aren't dwarven because the stone used here is too weathered. Dwarves tend to build things that really stand the test of time, and this hasn't.
Okay.
Yep, and that. Thank you for the skill check. You rolled exactly what was needed.
Excellent.
All right, guys, you carry on. So I'll go back to the other main map.
We're about to camp, weren't we? Didn't you say we're about to camp half a day from thingy, the hobbits?
Yeah, so you're about a day away from the hobbits. Can everyone give me an exhaustion check? This time at another +8. An exhaustion save, so Constitution saving throw +8.
+8. Don't fuck it up.
And this is easy terrain, but you also got some really good rolls for this when I planned for the trip.
29.
Good rolls.
Wow.
Athos is doing push-ups. Come on, we'll get there tonight.
And none of you exhausted. You're all traveling really well. You're feeding really well. All of that kind of good stuff. About lunchtime the next day, you get to, if you remember the East Inn.
I'm a bit worried about that place.
I think there was a picture. Yeah, here we are. Let me share this with you.
Gonna be trashed by.
That's how you remembered it. It's absolutely not how it looks now. So your heart drops as there's no lights burning in any of the smile holes, windows there. There is no. Not only is there no lights burning from within, the thatched roof of the place to the right and a lot of the inn's roof is blackened, just beams remaining.
Oh, no. We must go and see if anyone's around.
Okay, so this is... I can just share this map with you. It's just to give you a way of exploring. So just check you can see yourselves.
Yep.
So it's basically, this is how you remembered it. It is a burnt shell of a building now. Rain's damaged it. There are even plants growing through some of the remaining thatch. Looks like no one's been here for a year.
Bloody hell.
Terrible shame.
Can we see if we can hear or see any signs of movement or life?
Absolutely. So, guys, I don't think Arrowhead. You might have come to this place, but you're probably not. You don't normally go this far north, so the crew may need to tell you about the history of this place.
Is this the Hobbit Inn that you mentioned?
Yeah, it's a new inn set up not that long ago. And we had a bit of an adventure to track down and rescue one of the hobbits who was out to get beer, I think.
Yeah, Dodie, we had to find Dindy, or Dindy, we had to find Dodie.
So we had to so we helped them out, saved one of them's lives, rescued him fantastically, I think from some goblin caves underground. That was a hell of a story. Come back to that one day. We were guaranteed free food and beer and wine for life at this place. We may not have got the paperwork for that, but as far as I'm concerned, we were guaranteed free food and beer and wine for this place.
I think Sigmar and Hathis dressed up as orcs, if I remember rightly.
He was classic.
It was a very heroic rescue attempt on the poor hobbit.
So are there any other buildings in this area that you've seen?
No, I mean to be honest, other than the hobbit you saw down in the Gladden Fields that Arrowhead and the rest of you met, you don't know. Hobbits are very rare east of the mountains, and so you would have no idea where these folk would have gone. Unfortunately, it's been a long time since this has been burnt out, but you can try. If anyone is trying to kind of work out what happened here, give me an investigation check in the tower.
Yes. Yeah,
Are there any graves nearby?
Give me a perception check to look around outside, Monin. None of you find any signs of what may have happened here. Of the hobbits themselves. You do see some worrying, what look like they could be axe marks in the front door. There's lots of deep gouges in it, around the handle and stuff like that, and it's kind of partly hanging off its hinges.
Ooh.
So did you finish off these goblins nearby, or?
No, it was an entire goblin cave full of goblins. So we sneaked in, poisoned them with the world's worst curry, and while they were all drunk, I think we rescued the prisoners and made good our escape. But we didn't kill them all.
Because I think it's
So
in
maybe
that.
they've had these.
That was in the mountains.
Yeah, so the mountains is crawling goblins. You probably couldn't kill them all
Yeah.
if you're there for
Maybe they've
a
had-
year.
May have had their revenge then.
Or the increased orc numbers of just attacking the
overwhelmed
isolated, in a nice illuminated building and miles from anywhere.
Yes.
Are we
Right for the
fairly
attack.
close to the building, John?
Yeah, you've actually looked around in it. You've searched it.
Okay.
You've searched the for signs of life. The thing you found, so you did find some things like moldy clothing, hobbit clothing and human-sized clothing. The positive things, you didn't find any corpses, but it might be that someone
Later on came and cleared up.
Now, Monin, you only looked around the immediate vicinity of the inn for graves.
Yeah.
You didn't see any, and no one else has looked around outside.
So when you were here before, they'd kidnapped one of them, had they?
One of them had gone. I think he was travelling to Bree or the Shire
I see.
to sort of arrange. I think to purchase beer and wine, etc., but didn't make it there. So we went and found it being waylaid by goblins.
Yeah.
Was he waylaid near here though? I'm just wondering.
No,
could it be
no,
the
he was
same.
waylaid.
No, he's on his way to.
Oh, okay.
On his way to. So I think it's unconnected,
All right.
but it is. I think many people thought it was a bit of a risky, dangerous venture. This close to Mirkwood, and this isolated, setting up a pub or an inn. It's kind of good news, but I don't think anyone died of shock if it's been attacked by orcs or worse.
No.
So can we search outside, John, for...
Yeah, everyone's searching outside.
Tracks
Monin,
and
you already
signs
have
of life
give me a
in it.
perception check in the tower. Okay.
Actually, Huon can help me, can't he?
Yeah, your dog can, with smell and hearing, it's got advantages to perception.
Keen smell and hearing, yeah. So
Crap,
signs
okay.
of life.
Let me
around
just
and
show
near.
you what the last two rolls were. That was yours, Hathis. That was yours, Arahad.
And I'm +5.
And so's Arahad.
Yeah. We're doomed not to find anything here.
Gonna rely. So, if you want Huon to sniff around
Yes, definitely.
outside, okay, give me a perception check for him at advantage.
24.
Ooh, okay.
Drop the 1.
Huon. So it's about sniffing around all of the undergrowths and stuff all around the property. Then starts barking. It's about probably 50, 80 yards away from the inn, kind of to the north. And you remember at the north of the inn, they were planning at the time and started clearing land for planting.
Okay.
And now that's a lot of that looks like it had been cultivated. It's all overgrown now.
Mhm.
And it's in a probably waist high. You probably think like things like broccoli that's gone to seed and stuff like that, but he's up in there digging around and barking. Pathos.
Okay. I'll go towards him and try and see what he's doing. And if he's digging, then I'll try and... Hathis got a shovel.
Cool.
I think. Let me check the inventory. He doesn't normally get his shovel
Don't
out.
need a shovel. So you get up there, and he, as you get closer, you realise that he's not digging. He's scratching around at something,
Okay.
and lying what would be probably face down in the field up here is a small humanoid skeleton.
Oh,
Not even skeleton. It's like bits of ragged still got bits of like dried flesh and stuff stuck to the bones, ragged clothing on it. You would assume by the size it's either a child or a halfling or a hobbit.
Oh dear.
And
should call the others.
You can see three, what must be arrow shafts within the bones.
Can we examine when I get there? Can I have a look at the arrows to see if they give anything away about if they look typical goblin or anything like that?
Yeah, give me a lore roll, LORE, as opposed to LAW.
In the tower.
Yep. You don't know. They're fairly crudely made. That's all you can tell.
Has anyone else seen arrows like this before?
Can the rest of us try and recognise them, John, or is it a sort of an arrowhead ranger
Right,
type thing?
lore roll if you want to try and check. So Monin, you don't recognise them as any dwarven make. Hathors, you say, hang on a minute, these aren't arrows. These are
Axes.
This is a staff, just a really small one. In fact, it's 3 small staves. What's going on?
Does that mean I rolled really badly, John?
Fumbled.
Another one.
God, we're doing brilliantly tonight.
We go on far. We got
Out of 6 rolls, I think you've rolled 3 ones. That's 50% 1 ratio at the moment. So.
Maybe he was ambushed by tiny pixie wizards.
It's the only. He must have angered the pixie wizards.
And as if to make matters worse, the rain's starting to come down. The wind's blown up.
These are our friends and good people, weren't they? So we ought to maybe make a decent fist at burying them. I've got a shovel.
Aye, do that same. And I'll get my dwarven shovel I got from the mine, I think.
Take your pick.
I got one of those as well. But yeah,
Exactly.
you'll start digging a hole.
We'll dig a decent grave, John, and do a short yet moving ceremony.
So you don't know that was just one, and you've got no
Yeah.
idea which of the hobbits that would have been, but there's only one corpse there, so you don't know what's happened to the rest.
Okay. And presumably, Huan's not suddenly raced off 20 foot to the left and started barking again.
No.
So maybe one of them escaped or was taken. Not sure why they'd be taken. Maybe one escaped. Anyhow, whether this is Dodie or Dindy or customer, they deserve a decent burial, and the spot needs marking.
Aye.
Or build a small cairn, John, just so we
Okay.
don't lose
So
the spot.
you are dispirited. You spend a good 2-3 hours digging a fairly decent burial pit, and then collecting stones to mound up on it, and say a few words for the dead hobbit.
John,
Yeah.
while they're doing that, I want to search the area, carry on searching the area for track or any other bodies.
Okay, so give me a survival check in the tower to see if you can find tracks. No, it looks very, very old.
Yeah, I was just wondering if something might have come back more recently, that was all.
That's put a dampener on the day, isn't it?
Aye.
Yeah, what was a beautiful brook running past the inn is just it just seems colder and more miserable. It was a nice, happy sound when you were last up here. It's a mess now. So everyone give me an insight check in the tower. Arahad Hathors, that's quite appropriate actually, as you kind of woodman and work around them. So you're aware that more isolated woodman farmers living in the Vales tend to put palisades around their properties to protect themselves and any livestock they have. And the inn definitely didn't have one. It could have been made defensible, but just wasn't, basically. And obviously the hobbits had no idea of that. But it's useful information to know later.
Aye, we'll go through Rowanhold tomorrow. We'll ask what happened.
Yep. Well, presumably it's mid-afternoon now. Do we think we can crack on to Rowanhold? It seems a bit...
Yeah, I mean, you can get there. You end up getting to Rowanhold quite late. It's probably equivalent to about 9 o'clock. So it's been a subdued, miserable ride for the rest of the way up from that. But that's where you get to.
And that's a sanctuary for us, isn't it?
Yep, it is. Not that you need healing or anything, but
No, but it's a decent night's sleep kind of thing.
Yeah, and heal our hearts slightly. Though Mernan's taken to blaming the hobbits, like, they should have put some defences up back there asking for it. And just trying to deflect his own sorrow.
yeah, it's the most subdued. I mean, you had really good spirit setting out, and that put a real damper on it. You're all thinking, what could we have done differently? We should have known to be able to help them in a better way than we did. And you're feeling pretty low.
Yeah, but they've been in business, presumably they were in business for a while. It's not just us that forgot, neglected to tell them. Every single customer and passerby should have said, out here you need decent palisade and 100 armed dwarves to guard you.
You end up in Rowanhold. You're welcomed back by
Thingy.
Gaelvara, if you remember her.
Yeah.
You helped her right in the early days kill a warg that attacked the townhold. So Rowanhold looks like, strangely, it has a palisade on it. If you remembered, it looks like this. And then you actually helped strengthen the palisade after the warg attack. So as you get to Rowanhold, you are greeted by Gaelvara. You relay the story of the inn. They're aware of what had happened.
Yep.
They said that one of the hobbits, injured, made it to Rowanhold. And he departed for the Shire last year sometime. Don't know what became of him, but just grief-stricken. Said they were attacked by orcs and wargs, so some of them are mounted as well one night, and everyone scattered. He made it to Rowanhold, but doesn't know what happened to the rest. He knows Dodie died, and it was Dindy that got here, but you don't know what happened to his wife or anyone else at the inn, and the old fighter there that was trying to protect them. No idea what happened to them. And they said, yeah, we went down. We didn't find any of the bodies in the inn. We went and searched it. Nothing there, and the hobbit departed.
Bad business.
We found one hobbit body. We gave it a burial. So when you see a little mound
did?
or cane, yes, there was about 80 yards, was it 80 feet, 80 yards away? There was a
Quite a way away, so it was not near the inn.
A fair way off. There's a field of broccoli's gone to seed, obviously, and in there was a little hobbit corpse. Don't know if it was male or female. I presume the rags and clothing didn't tell us that, did it, John?
No, it was too rotten.
We found a hobbit corpse. Don't know who it might have been, but we made a little grave, and there's a little stone cairn there.
Yeah, it's all that can be done. It's a brutal business living out here. If you remember, she was a complete hard ass.
Yeah.
So she says, yeah, as you know, we've got some empty houses in Rowanhold. Always welcome here. Make yourself a home. There is a woman from parts east, shepherdess, staying with us, been with us for a few days. But other than that, it's going on pretty much as normal here.
Good. So no increased attacks or no heightened sense of worry at the moment. Nothing to worry about.
Still attacks. The palisades, and you can tell that it's well maintained now. And she says, no, I would say the attacks are increasing. Palisades holding, and people feel much more confident defending ourselves. You can tell there used to be basically just a barrier across the gate to stop horsemen charging in, but there's proper spiked gate top now made of wood that goes across into Rowanhold now, so it's a much more secure place.
Do you know where these attacks are coming from?
Out of the mountains, Grey Mountains, I would guess. The foothills up there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether you travelled up north, but past the Elfwood, as you get up into the East Upper Vales, it's pretty dangerous up there then.
Right.
Do we have to pay for stabling for horses or anything like that, and feed for horses?
Oh no, it's a sanctuary. They're very grateful to have extra armed folk here anyway, just for the day or whatever you're travelling.
Okay, brilliant.
And they've said, yeah, there's definitely people over the last couple of weeks coming by and staying for a night on their way to Dale. So you heading that direction?
Yeah, that's exactly where we're going.
Yeah. Well, you may meet some other travellers north of here.
Are they all okay, or are there any weird folk?
All folk are weird.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
No, they're all taking precautions, being a bit canny. None of them are riding. You're doing well for yourselves, she says, looking at your horses, but not anything you should be worried about. There's not orc hordes attacking or anything like that on a daily basis. So.
We'll
Is
be
there-
off early tomorrow. Yeah.
Is there anyone selling ale?
The old Tyrant, he makes his cider. He's got a little orchard. I have to say, it's a bit cloudy, but it's pretty good stuff if you fancy if you need a drink, but we don't brew here.
Right, thanks very much. Where do you live? Which direction is it?
Points Tyrant's out. So Tyrant's home is basically, they don't have a tavern here, but he clearly is quite proud of his like cider making and stuff. And there are about 4 or 5 people, including this. You would estimate she looks out of place because she is. So everyone typically here is kind of brown haired, and this woman is very black haired, and she's sitting by herself. And Gaelvira, as she comes over for a drink with you, said, "Oh, that's a shepherdess." But yeah, I'm not partial. It's a bit too early in the season for me for a drink, but Tyrant will sort you right. And I think we might be able to rustle up some ham and eggs and things for you as well. And so she goes off, and you can tell she knocks on a door nearby, just a normal house, and a woman comes to the door, and looks like they look over, and there's some food being prepared for you. And then you get into this basically like a front parlor. There's like 4 or 5 people sitting around, and near the fireplace is this the shepherdess. Hello there, Master Dwarf. I remember you fellas from 45. You must have been here last, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe 46. How are you doing? How are you faring?
Not too bad.
Can't complain.
I'd become.
Are you doing well for yourselves? He looks at your better equipment, and he says, "Cider, is it, fellas?"
Aye,
Yes,
definitely.
Just the one for me.
A big barrel, probably you would estimate like a 20-gallon barrel.
One barrel for me.
on the counter. He pulls actually, yeah, you guys all know Bristol pretty well, so imagine like the Coronation tap, but
That's the one.
with the most evil-looking liquor coming out of the cider keg you can imagine. It's like cloudy. He pours it into a big earthenware jug. You would estimate like 6 pints of this stuff. Flicks some bits of pips and stuff off the top and puts it on the table in front of you, beaming proudly.
This looks marvellous stuff. Did you make this yourself?
Aye.
Oh, you must be proud. This looks a proper brew.
Yeah, it's like woods to the south. I found some apple trees there, and I've been cultivating them for 30 years now. Getting nice crop. I can keep the whole village going with cider year round now.
Oh, this is brilliant news.
It looks pretty grim. It is strong as hell. It's ridiculously strong. It actually tastes really quite nice. It's quite dry, crisp. It's just cloudy and cellar temperature and completely flat, but it actually tastes pretty good.
Yeah, I'm only going to have the one. If it's cloudy, the last thing I want to do is drink more than one.
For the journey north. So.
Yeah, Moni's going to have as many as he'll give him because he's in a mood to forget tonight.
Yeah, Hathis is going to somberly lift his glass up and say, "Absent friends," and leave it at that.
Aye, absent friends.
Okay, so you have a few. So anyone having more than 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Go blind.
Give me
Side goes numb.
Disease or poison.
I feel like a pig shat in my head, or whatever the quote is.
That's the one. Give me a Constitution.
He's a dwarf.
Saving throw.
He's immune.
Well, yeah, you have about 5 pints of this stuff, and everyone else can tell that Monin started after like the halfway through the 4th pint to be spilling increasingly more beer, like failing to quite get the mug to his lips before he drank, or that kind of stuff. And so beard's getting a bit soaked with apple juice. And by the end of the 5th one, he's slurring his words really badly. But as you kind of get up to go to the house that you're offered, he seems to be walking okay. and he sings a bit of a ditty, but you never hear Moanin sing, but he like sings to himself as you're walking back up to the house.
See the little hobbit, see his little feet, see his little toesy woosies. It's got Scottish for some reason.
Fantastic.
We'll do when we had a drink.
If you didn't have full inspiration, I would give you one for that. That was great. So yeah, that you get there and you have a night's sleep. You wake up in the morning moaning, feel fine. The one thing I forgot to do, actually, I apologise for this. Before this part of the journey, when you got to the old forest road, you had an amazing arrival roll. You arrived there, and it's obviously completely changed now. But you arrived there inspired and filled with hope. So everyone who doesn't have inspiration gains 1 point, and everyone can remove 2 points of shadow.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
Skull's gone.
You had a nice meal last night. Did anyone want to talk to the shepherdess, the woman, the middle-aged woman?
Well, I guess we'll say if she's looking to travel north, we're striking out tomorrow morning. So if she wants to come along, sort of safety in numbers, that's our plan. Just in case she says, "Yeah, I'm planning to travel tomorrow, and I'd like to come along in safety."
All right. Not going north, boys. I've just come back from around the Grey Mountain and Narrows. I'm going south, actually.
Okay.
Looking to start build a flock down in the East Middle Vales, maybe near Bjorn's fellas. Here they're good. But you come from that part? You know them well?
Yeah, we know the area quite well. We met Bjorn.
Good grazing down there?
Sorry?
Good grazing down there?
There's an awful lot of grass, but it's a dangerous place. It's, safety in numbers, as we said before. So, you might need some kind of protection if you're out in the wilderness.
I've been shepherding for 20 years since I was a girl, so I know how to look after myself.
Well, please be careful.
Will do.
Bands of wargs and orcs. We just buried a friend yesterday who'd set up an inn to the south, and they've obviously been raided and burnt to the ground and killed, slaughtered.
Sad business when orcs attack.
And the numbers are increasing, frequency's increasing.
Getting more bold.
Something's afoot. There's dirty work afoot.
Bastards.
But there's plenty of grass.
All right, that's good. I keep myself to myself. I'd much rather letting those bastard orcs have my flock than I would obviously dying to protect them. So I haven't come across orcs for maybe 10, 12 years when I was east of Mirkwood. Not many there. There seems to be more activity around here.
Definitely. And as I say, it's on the increase. Everyone's growing more concerned. We're living in harsh times.
Yeah.
Any news of the road up there from the Narrows?
There's a few folk I met up there. It's pretty rugged terrain. Yeah, your horses ain't gonna like some of those bits. There's some nasty scree slopes and stuff up there, but stout pair of boots should be okay. I'm originally from down on the Runham River, down south of way south of Dale. So I'm assuming where you fellas are going.
Yeah, we're heading to the party at Dale.
Been many years since I went to that. I can remember Dale when I was a little girl. That was quite a nice town. I understand they're building it back up again, but it got completely fucked by that dragon.
Dragons tend to do that.
Keep away from that sort of people. Too many people. There's always bad apples in that bunch.
But they're hardy folk in Dale.
Seldrin, that was a nice town where I grew up. That was way to the south.
What was that you said?
Seldrin.
Seldrin, okay.
I'll spell that for you.
Not heard of that one. You're coming a long way to raise some sheep, aren't you? So not grazing out there.
A lot of grazing out there, but there's no bloody market for sheep out there. There's not enough people. So
gotcha.
I came around here, started traveling last year, and I reckon I would make a go of it here. There's definitely more people living in the Vales than there was in the Marches that side. But Seldrin's a nice old town. You should look it up sometime. It's a good place that way.
We don't know that area very well, but
Now we hear
we
bad
see-
things about that area, about forces being levied.
What's happening?
We'll, John, we'll point it towards Roscabel and suggest that might be good to be in that vicinity, might be safer than elsewhere.
Within a day's walk of the Black Tarn, she could find help there. She thanks you, and goes on a little bit to describe. A sec, I just need to open something. So she goes on a little bit to describe Seljuin itself.
Can you tell us where it is, or do we know?
It's on the running river. That's so hard to explain. It's like probably 2-3 days walk along the running river from the edge of Mirkwood and the old long marshes there. But that's where it is.
Can we work out where it is on our map then, roughly? And
Yeah, so you said you can't really miss it. It's like there's a ford that crosses there. Crossing to Seljuin is why the whole settlement built up. But yeah, there's a bridge across the river there. Let me show you where it is. It is there. The green pin I've just put. I'll also share it on the world elements. You can read about it.
so it's a friendly place, is it? If we're travelling in the area?
I've been there I used to probably go in there maybe 3-4 times a year. Folk seem friendly enough. So she's a long way from home, obviously.
And that's where we'll leave this episode, the penultimate episode. Next episode, the last one, we will cover off the rest of the distance on the journey to Dale and a little bit of the events in Dale. Thanks very much for watching, listening, subscribing, following, all that lovely stuff. Happy gaming. Cheers.